For the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy with the high near 77. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms with a low around 50. Tomorrow, a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy with a high near 64. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to the 2025 NSAA State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. State baseball broadcasts are powered by Game Day Men's Health, Max Tan, Doane University, Raising Cane's, and the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Austin Orman.
Welcome back one final time from Warner Park here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, ahead of our final game of the day. Elkhorn South going up against the Millard North Mustangs. Nick Sainert here, Austin Orman there, and we've got a good one to close out the nightcap. The rain is around us. but we are dry here at Warner Park. Cloudy skies, the lights are still on. They have been all day long, and we're going to see a Husker commit on the mound for the Elkhorn South Storm in the form of Brody Gindra. Gindra, a real talented right-handed pitcher. He's going to be facing a talented Millard North lineup that is as well. They got guys in Ripken Fleck, who's hitting .345 on the year, and a couple of other notable names on there as well. But Austin Norman, been a good day for baseball. Wind is still blowing out to left field, and we've avoided the storms for at least now.
That's the most important piece. You never want weather. There's always weather. You got to deal with it. So a big shout out to the NSAA and the grounds crew here at Warner Park for keeping things on time, making the move to get these games in instead of rely on the previously listed first pitch times. It's been a very smooth day of baseball and a fantastic day for baseball. We've seen crisp baseball, clean baseball, high-level baseball. Of course, what will come to mind first is the walk-off from the number 1 overall seed. They were pushed by Millard South in our previous game, Nick, but Lincoln East prevails. And now the 2 upsets, quote-unquote, of the day from Friday. You get number 6 seed Elkhorn South, obviously in the field first as the home team, against number 7 seed Millard North, who comes into the tournament, one of the hottest teams in the state. In fact, they've only lost once in the month of May.
Once again, it's Elkhorn South. They're going to be the designated home team. Millard North, the visitors on the scoreboard. Elkhorn South wearing their charcoal gray uniforms with the word Storm across the chest in the navy blue letters and numbers. Maybe some of the most difficult numbers to see, though, as Brody Gindra will take the mound against Millard North wearing their black uniforms with the white pants and blue helmets while they're on offense. We are ready to go here at Warner Park, the home of the Omaha Storm Chasers, as we are excited to bring you the 4th game of the day. Appreciate you guys hanging on and hanging out for as long as you have, whether you're listening on the FM dial, the mobile app, or any of our other avenues, the video stream as well. We appreciate you hanging out with us on your Monday afternoon, whether it's the drive home, and you can always feel free to reach us and let us know where you're listening from. The first pitch of the game is a ball up and away to the leadoff hitter, Jackson Smith, the right fielder for Millard North, up and away 1-0 as Gindra back in the windup, ready to go on the 1-0 pitch. That one outside 2-0. Quickly here to Jackson Smith. We saw the importance, especially in the last game, getting on top of guys early, not giving up too many free passes. That was really what lost Millard South the previous game. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch from Gindra. Inside, 3-0. And a lot of guys, Tal Anderson Field is a really, really nice space, right? And it's a college field. This is a professional ballpark, and there's juices, there's excitement, just natural feelings that will take over in the first couple of pitches and moments of this game for some of these guys. Brody Gindra starts it off with a 4-pitch walk.
Believe it or not, I actually know something about that. I have set foot and played on this very park back in high school.
So there you have it. Austin Norman, resident of Warner Park. Jack Caglione, about to be a resident of Warner Park.
He's lucky to have shared the same field as me.
That is right. We are ready to go as Gindra has to shift and kick the dirt around a little bit to make it comfortable. And that's one thing that it does not get taken lightly. And in all seriousness, is every mound is different. Turf mounds are very different from dirt mounds. A lot of these guys, a lot of the high school areas around Nebraska have shifted to a turf field, including the mound. And so reacclimating yourself to the dirt is a little bit different. Now an errant throw on a back pick attempt to first base. The runner won't get only to second. He's going to slide into third, and an error by the backstop of Elkhorn South. That is Jack Gideon. Airmailed it over the first baseman's head. The base runner, Jackson Smith, got caught about 35 feet off the first base bag. He was going to be out by a mile, so he just committed to going to second base right away. That ball, we talked about the ballpark, went all the way down close to the wall in the outfield in foul territory, and getting an extra 180 feet was Jackson Smith. So now here it is with a runner 90 feet away. This one swung on. That's going to score the first run of the game. The shortstop fires it across the diamond in time for out number 1. But we have our first run of the game, and it comes thanks to an error on the catcher that allowed the runner to move up from first to third, and then just a simple 6-3 ground out, but with an RBI, gives Millard North a 1-0 lead.
Gideon was rock solid behind the plate in the first game against Kearney. He had the right idea there, but he talked about getting the juices flowing, tried to make that play too quickly.
1-0 your score. Millard North out in front by a run here, 1 out in the top of the first inning. Nick Standard, Austin Norman with you. Jindra fires home. That one a half-hearted swing and miss, and it is 0-1 to the designated hitter this evening for the Millard North Mustangs, Marcus Hankins. Hankins, the right-handed hitter, watches strike 2 go by. 0-2. Jindra lighting up that radar gun. I believe it's no balls, 2 strikes. The scoreboard says 1-1, but it's been shaky all day. Now that ball in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yes, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The umpire just showed it, and now the scoreboard gets it correct. It's been shaky in the afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Jindra kicks, fires, swung on and missed, and that's a strikeout. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter for the Millard North Mustangs, number 1, Tanner Evans. Evans getting the start at second base today. Evans hitting .292 on the year, 19 hits and just over 60 at-bats. Hits from the left side, has that bright green neon bat hanging off the shoulder. And he takes first pitch strike in there, low and in for a strike, 0-1.
Full cage face mask as well.
You don't see that very often anymore.
Not in baseball, softball quite a bit.
It used to be a requirement.
That's right.
Back when we were playing Austin, it was a requirement.
Back in our day.
Yeah, right? We're able to say that now.
I probably wore one of those at this very field. Did I mention I played at Werner Park before?
You did not, actually.
Oh,
I forgot about that. I forgot you told me that year after year. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch, softly chopped left side, but foul, and we'll do it at 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tanner Evans, the cleanup hitter for Millard North. Not the tallest man in the arena, but packs a punch.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Brody Jindra fires home. This one fouled off the leg of Evans, and we'll get to do it again at 1 ball, 2 strikes. How was the hot dog, by the way?
It was solid.
Okay,
solid. I
good.
give it that's an 8 out of 10 hot dog.
Good.
Got some French fries if you'd like, Tim.
No, it's all good. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Out of the windup, here's Brody Jindra, the future Husker, fires upstairs. Ball 2, 2-2, we're even. I remember we switched to this schedule because of the potential of severe weather coming. Obviously, I think Nebraska is in a good chunk of this area is in a tornado watch until about 9 p.m. as a swing and a miss gets Evans down on strikes. We can continue the meteorology conversation when we come back. That is out number 3, but Millard North, thanks to an error by the Elkhorn South catcher, they're able to strike first. It's 1-0 entering the home half of the first inning here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Standard, Austin Norman back with you. Okay, so as we continue the meteorology discussion, it doesn't look like any showers are going to hit this area where we are at, according to the good old weatherchannel.com. Until about 7:15 p.m., which is still an hour and about 45 minutes away. And so a pretty good chunk of this game will be able to be played according to the good old the radar. But we'll see what the future holds for us. On the mound for Millard North here, it's going to be Wade Spencer. Number 11, Wade Spencer on the year. Wade has a 3-2 record, holds a 1.52 earned run average. And he's going to be facing a pretty good Elkhorn South lineup that's going to see Brody Jindra up to the plate first.
Jindra in the opener against Kearney went triple, double, triple, was intentionally walked, and then for good measure capped it off with a double.
It reminds me of something that we're actually seeing play out. When I talked to Rhonda Revelle last year about, or maybe it was even 2 years ago, about why she chose to hit Billy Andrews first in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her telling us that it was essentially because the opponent right out of the gate has to decide, do you want to pitch to one of the best hitters or do you just want to put her on? And we're seeing that play out with Jordy Ball right now with Nebraska softball, where she went ballistic down in the Baton Rouge Regional, but then they ended up starting to intentionally walk her. And when she didn't, she would still make them pay. So now this is a conversation that if you're Elkhorn South head coach Brandon Dahl, you're sitting there going, all right, Millard North, guess what? You either get to choose, do we want to pitch to him or do we want to walk him and just put him on base or be extra careful, right? We're not going to see an intentional walk right out of the gate for these guys, but it's, do we want to be more careful and be willing to put him on base? If so, and so it's one of those conversations that you have to have, especially with some of your better hitters following him later in the lineup. Wade Spencer on the mound, working from the windup. Here is the first pitch to Brody Gindra as he watches a breaking ball, strike one, and that's how you feel about dealing to Brody Gindra. You're going to throw some English his way on the first pitch of his at-bat. No balls, one strike. And here comes the pitch from Spencer. Fastball outside. I heard somebody yell strike, and I thought it was the umpire for a second, and so that's why I had to hesitate.
It was the umpire, just the armchair umpire.
Yeah, right, the ones that were sitting directly below us here at Warner Park. It's 1 ball, 1 strike now. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Spencer providing a little bit of juice in that right arm. Gindra late on that fastball. It's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to Brody Gindra. The leadoff hitter for Elkhorn South. Millard North leads it 1-0. The pitch from Wade Spencer on its way. Fastball, tried to paint it. And it was a ball low out of the zone, and it's going to be 2-2.
That's a really good spot, but Gindra's not afraid to take it the opposite way. His first triple in Game 1 on Friday over the right fielder's head.
Here comes the 2-2 offering from Wade Spencer. The pitch home to Gindra in the dirt, 3-2. The wind blowing here at Warner Park at about 17 miles per hour from right to left. As you hear it, right on cue. Thank you, wind. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Gindra. Swung on. This one hit well left side. It's going to be chased towards the seats. The left fielder trying to keep it in play, able to, and he hauls it in for out number 1 up against that wall in deep left field.
That's a really good job over there as he got toward the corner by Caden Schaefer. He got to his spot early. If he was trying to track that ball, he would have been a little more worried about the wall. But he was on his horse. He sprinted over there, gave himself enough time to track the wall and keep his eye on the ball at the same time.
So now that brings up the center fielder, Tyler Lofdahl. He hits from the left side. Here's Spencer's first pitch to Lofdahl. Up and away, ball 1. Lofdahl on the year, 386 hitter, 27 hits and 70 at-bats. Here's the pitch from Spencer on 1-0. Hits the inside part of the zone for a strike, 1-1. Nice job there by Wade Spencer, evening up the count. 1-0 your score, Millard North, as Elkhorn South up to bat for the first time here today in the bottom of the first. He takes ball 2, low and in, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Here's the pitch from Spencer. Swung on and missed. A hearty cut there by Tyler Lofdahl. Goes for naught, and it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Tad inside. Lofdahl turned his back towards the pitcher and back inside towards the umpire like you're supposed to do. Take that baseball off the back and drew ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch from Wade Spencer as he starts his windup from the pitcher's mound. The pitch swung on, hit down the first base line, fielded cleanly by the Millard North first baseman. That is Spencer Phillips over there. And he walks it over to the bag for the 3 unassisted put out. Out number 2 on the play, bringing up the first baseman for Elkhorn South, Owen Musel. Musel on the year, number 24, hits .365, has 2 long balls on the year from the right side. He'll face the right-handed pitcher of Wade Spencer, who's been 2 up, 2 down so far in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch from Spencer to Musel. He is able to get the outside zone and clips it 0-1. Nick Sandert, Austin Norman back with you here at Warner Park. Harrison Arns in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln. The 0-1 pitch, lined right side but foul. And it'll be no balls, 2 strikes coming up to Owen Musel.
Coach got to make a play on that. Were you okay with the effort?
Don't worry. Coaches can just coach. I don't get mad about coaches not trying to grab foul balls. Maybe I'm bizarre in that. Musel, they're going to say he went around for the strikeout on a breaking ball in the dirt. Wade Spencer skips off the mound as he feels good about that first inning of work. It's 1-0 as we enter the second inning of play here at Warner Park on 93.7 The Ticket.
Break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sandert, Austin Norman back with you from Warner Park. It's 1-0 Millard North out in front of Elkhorn South as we enter the second inning of play. And Brody Gindra back out there for another inning of work for Elkhorn South. So once again, due up for Millard North in the top half of the second inning. It's going to be Caden Schaefer, Carson Burke, and Spencer Phillips. Schaefer getting the start in left field today. And on the year, Schaefer, 222 hitter, just 36 at-bats, can kind of do it all, a utility guy, infield, outfield, DH type of player. Caden Schaefer, like I mentioned, 8 hits in 36 at-bats. He's driven in just 5 runs on the campaign. Hits the 5 spot tonight for Millard North. Gindra steps behind the mound, takes a breath. He doesn't even have his glove on yet. Now goes to work. As Caden Schaefer steps into the right-handed batter's box to face Gindra. The first pitch of the second inning is low and away for a ball, 1-0.
I know it's somewhat common, and there's no real line of demarcation here, but it's always interesting to see a pitcher that will look away from his target during his windup like Gindra does down the third base line.
Here's the pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed by Caden Schaefer, 1-1. Good job by Gindra, though, pitching from behind there as he threw a breaking ball on a 1-0 count as Schaefer was looking and hunting fastball. Two balls, one strike. Gindra fires the fourth pitch of the at-bat home, and it's fouled off behind the home plate, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out in the top of the second inning.
Gindra keeps giving the let's go kind of hand circle to first his dugout and then to his catcher.
Gindra starts the windup and throws the 2-2. It's going to be fouled off of the catcher. They got him on the inside part of the right thigh. And the umpire is going to give the Elkhorn South backstop some time to breathe. Appreciate it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out in the top of the second inning. Gindra working out of the windup, facing Caden Schaefer. Here's the pitch from Gindra. Swung on it, no, foul ball, and the catcher gets drilled again. Back-to-back pitches. The Elkhorn South catcher, Jack Gideon, gets hit. And he's given the thumbs up to the coaching staff over that Elkhorn South was getting ready to come out and check on him, but seems to be okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the second inning as we're ready to go.
What can you do as a catcher to prevent that? Seems like been a couple of foul tips that you're just kind of at the mercy of the batter.
Yeah, nothing. Angle of the baseball coming off the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 3. Here in the top of the second inning, it's 1-0.
Heavy diet of breaking balls from Gindra to Caden Schaefer, who has not had it timed up.
Here's the pitch. This one popped up shallow into foul territory. It's going to come down on the net, and we'll do it again at 3-2. An extended at-bat for Caden Schaefer, which even if he is unable to get on base here, is valuable for the guys behind him. And Carson Burke, Spencer Phillips, Alex Burrish, and even Chase Mockel. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, top of the second inning. Here's the payoff pitch by Brody Gindra. This one hit well out to left field. The left fielder stepped in. He's racing back. It's over his head. It's going to one-hop the wall and cruising into second with a standoff double is going to be Caden Schaefer. The left fielder was kind of surprised that that one was hit as well as it was. Brooks Berliner took one step in and had that oh no moment, as then he had to retreat, reverse course, and just started dead sprinting to the wall because he knew it was way over his head. It one-hopped the wall in left field, and cruising into second with a stand-up double to lead things off in the second inning is Caden Schaefer.
Berliner might not have gotten there even with the correct jump. That was scalded off the bat of 22.
So here we have it. Nobody out in the top of the second inning. Runner on second base. Here comes Gindra out of the stretch. They try and bunt. Millard North does, unable to do so effectively. It goes back to the backstop for a strike, 0-1. One thing that is interesting to see, and this is just being locked in as a catcher by Jack Gideon and Gindra and the rest of the coaching staff. Runner is on second base. You're going to switch up your signs, but there was a delay before the first pitch here to Carson Burke because they were not on the same page. Miscommunications like that can be detrimental here. 0-1 as they turn to bunt. This one down the first base line in plenty of time. Musil able to throw it over to the second baseman, covering for out number 1, but great job by Carson Burke, sacrificing his AB. It is 3-4 on the putout for out number 1, but advancing to third base on the sacrifice is Caden Schaefer. And now that brings up the first baseman, number 8, Spencer Phillips. Phillips on the year, a .275 hitter, has driven in 5 runs this year, can add a 6th to his total if he can get the guy in from third base 90 feet away. 1 out, top of the second. First pitch, the at-bat. He has to duck under it, and he takes ball 1, 1-0. Brody Gindra, normally as good as advertised, especially on a stage like this, has struggled with command. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out in the top of the second. 1-0 your score, Millard North out in front of Elkhorn South. Here's the pitch from Gindra from the stretch. Swung on, hit well, third base side, fielded cleanly. He's going to fake the throw towards home. Instead, throw across the diamond, and in time, they're going to say that Musil kept his foot on the bag. The first base coach for Millard North disagrees. However, the run does score. It was a contact read by Caden Schaefer at third base. He scores on the ground ball. It was hit hard enough. However, I think the third baseman for Elkhorn South, Marcus Gurup, did not get the transfer cleanly and therefore had to just resort to firing over to first base.
He had to go to a knee. He had a slight dive to make that play. I think that made him a little uncomfortable as well. He would have had plenty of time to stand up and make that throw. It wouldn't have been super close at home, but when you're not confident in that situation, best to just take the out that you know you can get at first base. And honestly, Nick, I'm in agreement with Millard North's first base coach. Without having the same angle as the home plate umpire, there was a weird little double stutter and double stretch from Musil over there at first base. I thought he pulled the foot as well.
Bases are empty. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well out to left center field. The left fielder raging over, and he has it for out number 3. But once again, Millard North adds on one more run on an RBI ground out by Spencer Phillips after the leadoff double by Caden Schaefer. They lead it 2-0 as we enter the bottom half of the second inning here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition. Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Nick Standard, Austin Norman with you from Warner Park as we enter the bottom of the second inning. Your score 2-0. Millard North out in front of the Elkhorn South Storm. Due up for Elkhorn South here in the home half of the frame, it's going to be Marcus Gorup, Brooks Berliner, and Eamon O'Gorman. 4, 5, and 6 in the Storm lineup. Wind continues to pick up. Like I mentioned, it appears that looking at the radar, it appears that things are just going to basically go right around us here at Warner Park. It looks really bad about southeast of us. Also looks bad northwest of us. Just kind of hanging around in this Omaha Dome, I suppose. First pitch of the at-bat to Marcus Gorup is a ball, 1-0.
The other thing to point out is Gorup's at the plate here, Nick. That last contact play at third base that brought the second run across. Gorup's a freshman.
There you have it as Gorup watches ball 2, 2-0. On the year, Gorup, 355 hitter. The 2-0 pitch, upstairs, ball 3. Three balls, no strikes, nobody out in the bottom of the second. The pitch, down Broadway for a strike, 3-1. Still 67 degrees out here at Warner Park. The 3-1 pitch swung on. It's a blooper into shallow right field. The right fielder races over, dives, and makes the catch for out number 1. Not sure the dive was necessary there by the Millard North right fielder Jackson Smith. However, style points. And now that brings up Brooks Berliner. Berliner, the starting left fielder for Elkhorn South. Brooks on the year, a .241 average. 14 hits on the campaign, 1 long ball. Here comes the pitch by Wade Spencer. Outside corner, strike 1. Wade Spencer doing a good job. Looks calm on the mound so far for Millard North. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Elkhorn South DHing for their catcher today. As this one, breaking ball. And off balance was Brooks Berliner. He swings and misses 1-2. But as I mentioned, DHing for their catcher, the designated hitter, Eamon O'Gorman, is in the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. And strike 3 called to Brooks Berliner. Wade Spencer with his second strikeout of the day, the first backwards K of the day. And now Eamon O'Gorman steps up to the plate. The designated hitter, Eamon O'Gorman, just a .152 average, 10 hits and 66 at-bats. Does have 17 RBI on the season, though. Nobody on base, 2 outs, bottom of the second. Here's the pitch to O'Gorman. Swung on, hit well out left side, just over the glove of the outstretched shortstop. And Eamon O'Gorman has a nice 2-out base knock the opposite way. And that is going to bring up Johnny Cotton now, the second baseman, after a good piece of hitting by Eamon O'Gorman. Johnny Cotton on the year hits .304 as a sophomore. Doesn't have many at-bats on the campaign, just 23 tries. But he will have a runner at first base in the form of Eamon O'Gorman.
First action of the state tournament for Cotton, Nick, as Peters today shortstops at second base with Brody Gindra playing short in the first game.
One guy on base at first base. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Cotton. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 is your score. Millard North out in front by a pair of runs. Getting his lead on first is Eamon O'Gorman. Relatively conservative lead over there at first base. The pitch on 0-1 is outside, ball 1, 1-1.
Spencer kind of looks like he wants to go full Craig Kimbrell, but he's not 100% committed to the bet.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch from Spencer on the way. Swung on, fouled off right side. And it's going to be a 1 ball, 2 strike count here in just a moment. The coach over there, to continue that conversation, the coach over there just kind of gingerly reaches his hand out, says, I made an effort. If it hits it, it hits it. If not, I'm not moving my feet.
And that one, I don't blame him. That was shot down there by Cotton.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch by Spencer on the way. Fouled off over our left shoulder, and it's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes once again.
Spencer's been in a pretty good rhythm. 15 pitches in the first. This is about to be his 15th pitch of the second inning. Got to see some. He is rolling. He is in cruise control right now. If you can see pitches, try to wear him down now and reap the dividends later.
Pick over to first, back in plenty of time, was O'Gorman over there on the first base bag. One thing we have not mentioned today is they're playing with bigger bases than they are more accustomed to. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Spencer on 1-2. Outside, 2-2. They're playing with the professional baseball bags today here at Warner Park. High school bags are just a tad smaller. You can't see it from all the way up here. However, and you might not even notice it when you're playing, but they are about a little over an inch larger on every side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Spencer. Outside corner, called strike 3. That was his second strikeout of the inning. That's his 3rd of the evening. And Elkhorn South goes down without being able to cut into this Millard North lead. They lead it. Millard North does 2-0 as we enter the 3rd. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman, Nick Sainer with you at Warner Park. Final game of the day in the Class A State Baseball Tournament. It's Mockle and top of the order, and Smith and Fleck due up for Millard North. Mustangs leading the Storm of Elkhorn South 2-0. Brody Gindra's first pitch low and out for ball 1. To Chase Mockle, he's playing short for Millard North today. 2-11 hitter. Gets benefit for checking his swing. Now counts in his favor, 2 balls and no strikes. Millard North has put up a run in each of the first two frames thus far. Mockle swinging away 2-0. Fouls that one back over our heads, 2-1. Not a bunch of pop out of the bat of Chase Mockle. No homers, 9 runs driven in on the year.
That's the second time now we've seen Brody Gindra have some issues with his footing on that mound. He slipped and fell there.
As Mockle punches that one through the right side, that'll be a single to lead off the visiting half of the third. Definitely something to monitor on game 4 of the day, Nick. The ground crew's done a good job. They don't have much time between games, as you've mentioned, really trying to get the proceedings underway.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of righties, couple lefties here and there, but you can see there are those areas of the mound. It's very easy to tell what's fresh and what's been replaced.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you can only, try to smash it down and clump that dirt together as much as possible. But you can stop and not have to worry about sending one home when nobody's on base, but you can't just stop your delivery when somebody's on base without giving up a free extra 90 feet.
Speaking of free extra 90 feet, here's Jackson Smith. He drew a leadoff walk, came around to score in the first inning. Smith is a lefty. He waits the pitch from Gindra, righty. That one driven in the air to right field, twisting towards center field, but it'll be the right fielder camping out underneath it to make the catch for the first out of the frame. So Smith retired on the F9. That brings up Ripken Fleck. Fleck had the RBI ground out to Peters at shortstop. Smith reached on a walk in the first. Jack Gideon, the Elkhorn South catcher, tried to backpick him after an aggressive secondary lead. His throw sailed all the way down to the right field padding where it starts to go diagonal. That got Smith to third. Then Fleck came up, grounded to short. 1 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped up the middle. Could be 2. Shortstop Peters takes it himself for 1 and just a half step slow on the double play. So that's a fielder's choice 6U, and Ripken Fleck beats it out. That half second of indecision there, Nick, really cost him. Could have been an inning-ending double play, but Peters couldn't decide whether to flip it or take it himself, and ultimately he's just a half second late.
Yeah, and I like the decision. Your momentum's taking you to that second base bag. I think that's the right call. Be sure of one before worrying about the second one. And he was as sure as he could be just by running over there and touching the second base bag.
So instead of Mockle at first base, it's Ripken Fleck, now 2 away for 3-hole hitter Marcus Hankins. Hankins did the catching in the first game. He stands in the right-handed batter's box awaiting the pitch from Brody Gindra. Long pause. Long pause. Now the umpire looks like he called time. No, but it was Hankins. A 4-second pause there from Brody Gindra. He's back on the rubber. He comes set. This time he delivers a breaking ball over the outside edge, strike 1.
Yeah, there's things to be said about mixing up your timing, but then there's
whatever that was.
Unnecessarily long pauses.
Gindra's up in the count 0-1. Now he picks over to first base. Runner dives back in time. That's Fleck. 2-0 Millard North, top of the third inning, Werner Park, game 4 of the day. Gindra set on that third base side of the rubber. That one skips away from Gideon. There'll be a free 90 feet for Ripken Fleck. He'll make a soft turn. Now third run of the game. 2 stations away from Marcus Hankins, who on the year has recorded 26 runs driven in, the only player over 11 on this Millard North team. Hankins bats .374. A lot of room on the right side as the second baseman attempts to hold Fleck there. Gindra, a long look back, now a second look back. He brings it home. Hankins takes another breaking ball outside edge, strike 2. Counts 1-2. So Ripken Fleck stands at second base with 2 out. Hankins awaits the pitch from Gindra. Here's the kick, the delivery. Fastball too far outside, counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gindra's had pretty good control of that breaking ball. Fastball's got some life to it, but he missed with that one. Now Gindra's set. Taps his foot a few times. He's ready to bring it home. Fleck dancing around at second base, trying to get in Gindra's head. Another long pause. Now Fleck an aggressive secondary lead as that one's flipped out to right field. Coming in, and making the catch is the Elkhorn South right fielder to extinguish the threat. No runs on the hit and the fielder's choice. One man left on base. To the home half of the third we go. Millard North leads Elkhorn South 2-0 on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse, and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
2 runs on 2 hits for Millard North. No runs on 1 hit for Elkhorn South. The Storm also committed an error in the top of the first inning. With you at Werner Park, I'm Austin Norman. Nick Sainert also calling games for us here on The Ticket. Big thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Game Day Men's Health, Max Tan, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, Doane University, and Raising Cane's for making our broadcast of the high school baseball tournament possible. We'll bring you Class A. We were at Tal Anderson Field on Friday for the opening round. We were back there on Saturday for the opening round in Class B. It'll be Class A most of the rest of the way here. See some Class B sprinkled in as well. Friday is going to be exciting. We'll have all 3 state championship games for you here on The Ticket. Class C at noon, Class B at 3:30, and Class A at 7. Wade Spencer has faced 1 over the minimum through 2 innings. Gave up a single to 6-hole hitter Eamon O'Gorman, but stranded him with a strikeout looking at second baseman Johnny Cotton. Here's Caleb Peters playing shortstop today. The righty steps in against Spencer, also a righty. He takes a fastball outside for ball 1. It'll be Peters, Cam Cooper, and Brody Gindra to lead off the inning for the Storm, trailing 2-0. Spencer's 1-0 also outside. Now it's 2-0. Peters started the tournament out at second base on Friday. He's playing shortstop today with normal shortstop Brody Gindra on the hill. He's swinging away. He taps that one weakly back to Spencer. Spencer will pick it up, fire over to first base in plenty of time for the first out of the bottom of the third. That brings up Cam Cooper, younger brother of Cal Cooper, who was the starting pitcher of record, went 6 innings in Elkhorn South's tournament opening win over Kearney. Cam's a righty batter. His brother's a lefty pitcher. Cameron Cooper is a sophomore. Pitcher outfielder, 280 average. He swings through that first pitch. He's down in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Second delivery. Check swing, no appeal. He did not go around, so counts even 1 ball and 1 strike. Cooper went 1 for 3 against Kearney. He had an infield double as he takes strike 2, 1 and 2. He also reached on an error and came around to score in the 7th inning. That infield double was when the second baseman was the one, Talon Lewis for Kearney, tried to make a play on it. The wind was blowing so far in that it was probably Lewis's ball to begin with, but it only ended up about 40 feet down the baseline. It landed in fair territory. Lewis picked it up, but with all the infielders converging, there was nobody around to cover second base. Really heads up base running by Cam Cooper to steal an extra 90 feet on a ball he didn't hit further than 30 feet away. He goes down swinging on the breaking ball. Wade Spencer retires Cam Cooper for the second out of the inning, and that brings up the top of the lineup. Here's Brody Gindra, one of the most dangerous hitters in the state. Gindra had a career night with 2 doubles and 2 triples, along with an intentional walk in the tournament opening win against Kearney. He flew out to left field to begin the game for Elkhorn South. He awaits his second at bat. First pitch of it from Spencer. That one ripped up the alley in left center field. Over to cut it off is the center fielder. A strong throw to second base will hold Brody Gindra at first with a 2-out single here in the 3rd inning.
That was a really impressive piece of hitting there by Brody Gindra, the future Husker. It was a fastball in on the hands. There's going to be a courtesy runner for him. It's going to be number 11, Charles Dickmeyer. But what I was going to say is, I mean, he was able to get his barrel through that baseball, through the zone, attack that first pitch fastball on the inner part of the plate, and still be able to get the barrel to it to hit it hard to the left center field gap. I mean, that was a really good piece of hitting by a high school player in the form of a junior in Brody Gindra.
You mentioned the courtesy runner, Charles Dickmeyer. He came on to run for Tyler Lofdahl on Friday. Here is Lofdahl. He shows bunt. That ball skips away from the catcher. Dickmeyer will stop at second base. There's a free 90 feet. Miscue. If you're Millard North, a 2-0 lead, that's the kind of thing you want to cut down on. Fans listening might have heard some USA chants in the background. That is the theme of the day for Elkhorn South. Also notable because Brody Gindra has been a member of some Team USA teams, 15U team.
Yeah, real good player.
And he transferred away from the Patriots to the Storm, funny enough. He was at Millard South last year. Dickmeyer gets his lead from second. Spencer brings it home. Another one through the 5-hole. Now, the first run of the game just 90 feet away for Elkhorn South. Back-to-back pitches, a lack of fundamentals behind the dish from Millard North catcher Carson Burke.
Yeah, really disappointing to see. I mean, that's simple as just get your glove down to the dirt. That's all it takes there. Cover up that 5-hole in between your legs.
2-0 count. Last two pitches have hit the backstop. Wade Spencer's 2-0, brought home, swung on, fouled straight back to the screen by Tyler Lofdahl, 2-1. Lofdahl picked out that fastball. Was on it timing-wise, just under it.
And that's where you can't be too predictable, unfortunately. If you're Wade Spencer, can't be too predictable about what pitch you're going to be throwing here on 2-1.
Here comes that 2-1. Swung on, drilled off to the left side, but twisting out of play, 2-2. Lofdahl wears number 10. He's driven in 10 runs this season. One of 4 players on Elkhorn South roster with 10 RBI. Batting average is north of 350. A hit here would get his team on the board in the bottom of the third inning. Elkhorn South, the 6th seed. Here comes that 2-2 pitch. It's bounced up there. This time, it's covered up by Burke, the catcher, but the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wade Spencer, bulldog righty on the mound. Only allowed 2 hits in the early going. He comes set at the belt. Here's the high leg kick delivery. Just inside, Lofdahl with a great eye. He draws a walk, but runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Owen Musil due up to bat.
And that's a really dangerous guy to bring up to the plate. After a base on balls to Lofdahl, now you're going to bring up Owen Musil, who's hitting .365 on the year, 2 home runs, and a lot of RBIs. Team lead in RBIs by a wide margin. He's got 30 on the year.
So here is Musil wearing number 24. He steps into that right-handed batter's box. He'll tap either corner of home plate. Spencer peers into the glove for the sign. Comes out with a quick check at third. Elkhorn South student section starting to make some noise. First pitch swung on and missed by Musil. That was a breaking ball down and in, 0-1.
Great command with that breaking ball on first pitch. That's a bold pitch to throw against a hitter like Musil. If you leave that in any part of the zone, there's a chance that gets deposited over the left field wall.
Wind still helping take it that way if he gets it up into the jet stream. Couple looks down by Spencer. He brings in the 0-1. Now it's 0-2. As that one ran in on Musil's hands, all he could do was foul it back.
He's doing a great job, Wade Spencer is on the mound, of establishing the inside part of the strike zone. He's been able to throw some heat in on the hands. He did it against Gindra. Gindra made him pay for it, but still, the ability to establish it opens up so many more options for you later in the ball game and later in at-bats.
Gindra hit that single. Dick Myers at third running for him. Spencer peers into the glove, kicks and delivers. That one in the dirt, low and out, 1-2. It's a single from Gindra with 2 outs, and Tyler Lofdahl drew a walk. Little surprised you haven't seen the runners in motion quite yet. Wonder if we see Elkhorn South expect another breaking ball, and Lofdahl's off to the races. Here goes Spencer. There goes Lofdahl. Breaking ball inside. Another tough take there by Elkhorn South, but it works out. 2-2 as Lofdahl swipes the extra 90 feet. Now a simple little base knock may just tie this game. Certainly going to be a tough task for Owen Musil, though. As Wade Spencer for Millard North enters with just a 1.53 ERA. Spencer steps off. He needs to reset. 2-0 Millard North, but Elkhorn South has its first run 90 feet away in the game's tying run at second base. Musil swings that bat with two hands as Spencer comes set at the belt. The righty high leg kick. Swung on and missed. A weak swing at a breaking ball. Wade Spencer works out of trouble, skips off the mound. He's fired up as well. He should be. Millard North maintains its 2-0 lead. The Mustangs are coming up to bat in the top of the fourth next on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Two-out rally results in nothing for Elkhorn South. The Storm returned to the field trailing 2-0. They have two hits. They've committed an error on the day. Brody Gindra on the mound. I'm Austin Norman. Nick Sainert with me. Nick, when you see D1 prospects, like we see quite a bit here at this state tournament, with a lot of great talent in the Division I prep ranks, you're always excited to see it. Seeing Brody Gindra play shortstop the way he handled the bat was certainly impressive. He hasn't been overpowering, hasn't been dominant here. You can see outlines of the prospect that the Nebraska commit got Will Bolton staff interested in.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you see there's so much. We always throw around the word potential, and there's so much potential with Brody Gindra. He tops out probably right now low 90s, mid 90s potentially at every now and then. However, when you look at Gindra, when you look at high school guys, it's all about, okay, how can you command the strike zone? And it's how well can you command multiple pitches? Because if you can show up to college and have control of three pitches, you're going to be in a pretty good spot to really develop over the course of the first couple of years of your college career.
Tanner Evans, cleanup hitter for Millard North, went after the first pitch. He saw it was a fastball that he fouled back. He watched a breaking ball for ball one. Here's another fastball cut on, fouled off left side, 1-2 in favor of the Nebraska commit Brody Gindra. Gindra, I would presume, would be looked at in the field and in the batter's box first as a shortstop.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's set with the windup, ready to bring it home. Breaking ball low and out. It's 2-2.
Which it's interesting. You look at what Nebraska has committed for the next couple of years. Senstock, an infielder, may project as a second baseman potentially at the next level for Lincoln East, but then Gindra at shortstop. I think he fits the shortstop mold decently well.
Cannon for an arm, as we've seen on display in this state tournament. He brings home the 2-2. Evans in on his hands. He fouls it off toward his own dugout. We'll do it again, 2-2 after the foul ball. I'd say Senstock, too, a little lighter bat. Probably projects a little better at second base. Gindra delivers to Evans on 2-2. That one lined to left field, but right at the left fielder for the first out, one away. Pretty good piece there by Tanner Evans, 6-pitch at bat, but ultimately the first out of the inning.
It was close. Brooks Berliner, who got burnt on that double earlier in the game by Caden Schaefer, who's now up to bat, he almost didn't learn his lesson. He started to take a step in, then kind of just halted and stayed still, and the ball went right into his glove.
Gindra's first pitch to Schaefer, a fastball in the outer portion, strike one. Pitch number 50 of the game for Brody Gindra. As Nick mentioned, Schaefer hit that double. He came around to score the second run for Millard North. He flailed at that breaking ball. He's down in the count 0-2. A lot of breaking balls from Gindra to Schaefer in the first at bat. See if he does it again. He did, but it missed just low, 1-2. So Caden Schaefer, playing left field today, made the nice catch up against the wall. Not a nice swing on that breaking ball. He was not ready for it again. Brody Gindra sits him down. by swinging over 2 of the breaking balls for the second out of the inning. That brings up Carson Burke. Burke's the catcher. He let a couple balls through the wicket in the previous half inning, ultimately did not end up burning Millard North. Burke laid down a nice sacrifice bunt that moved Schaefer over to third base in that second inning. He swings over a breaking ball as well. Mustangs are not picking that up out of Gindra's hand.
Yeah, very heavy dose of slider. It looks like it has a lot of slide right to left movement on it. He does it again, and it just seems like they cannot pick it up out of the hand. Maybe it's a cloudier day. Maybe it's the green batter's eye in center field. Whatever the case may be, Millard North struggling.
Gindra triples down on it. That one low and out, smothered, though, by Gideon. 1-2. Burke's first couple swings were not pretty. He was ahead of it. He was lunging, dropped to a knee on the first one. He's back in the batter's box awaiting the pitch from Gindra. Fastball skied in the air to center field. Should be routine. Center fielder Tyler Lofdahl camps underneath it, and there's the third out of the frame. We are halfway home. It's Millard North 2 and Elkhorn South coming to bat. 2-0 Mustangs over the Storm. More Class A state baseball tournament after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
2-0 Millard North over Elkhorn South as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Wade Spencer on the mound getting ready for his fourth inning of work. I'm Off Norman, joined by Nick Sainert. Just about ready to go. Spencer has 1 or 2 more warm-up pitches left. We did see an a Millard North player run out to the bullpen in center field. Nick, I want to ask you, in a situation like this, you're at the state tournament, would you do the professional thing and send your players out to the bullpen to begin with, or do you like the team camaraderie, having everyone on the bench and then sending them out to the bullpen as needed?
Excuse me. I think here's the thing. That was real great. I think what's important is if you're going to send them out to the bullpen, have somebody out there supervising.
What? High school kids need supervision?
Right. Unfortunately, a little bit, yes. Because you want to make sure they're still locked in the moment. We talked about it earlier at previous games. The mental engagement of it, make sure they're still living in the moment, locked in. Maybe you don't need to worry about that with some of your older guys, but if you got younger guys suiting up, trying to learn through this experience, understand the value of that. So I'm okay with sending guys out there. I think it's important, but have somebody out there making sure that they're staying locked in.
Wade Spencer was about ready to deliver the first pitch to Marcus Gorup. Gorup called time, though. Gorup wears number 5, bats right-handed. He is a freshman. He watches that one. Sorry, he wears number 21, playing position 5, third base. That's ball 1 out of the hand of Wade Spencer, his 50th pitch of the day. A freshman batting cleanup in his first state tournament action. Impressive stuff. Watches a breaker over the outside edge for strike 1. Gorup this season comes in with a .355 average, driven in 13 runs. Got that bat angled down. Here's the leg kick from Spencer. Another breaking ball outside edge, 1-2. Saw a lot of breaking balls late in the inning from Brody Gindra. Wade Spencer says, whatever you can do, I'm going to try to do better. There's the nod from Spencer. Drops the glove from Letters to the belt. He'll wind and fire. Breaking ball. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 straight sliders, 3 straight strikes on the outside edge, 1 away in the bottom of the 4th.
We're seeing it again. 2 really strong pitching performances from each side here. Gindra on one side. It's hard to fault him for one of the 2 runs. And then the other side, it's Wade Spencer doing his darn thing.
Here's Brooks Berliner, senior, wearing number 12. 240 hitter this year. He watches it low and down. Low and out. Ball 1. Low and down is both repetitive and redundant.
That's right. We all knew what you meant, though. It was low.
It was.
And down.
Spencer delivers that one. There's that slider again for a strike. 1-1. Maybe the next one's going to be high and up.
That's right.
Spencer ready. Here comes his 1-1 to Brooks Berliner. That one drifted a little further outside, 2-1.
It just looks like Elkhorn South right now, even the top of their lineup, just so uncomfortable at the plate right now. Looks
Storm
like they can't get settled in.
Only 2 hits. That is both a testament to Wade Spencer and maybe just the emotion of the days. It's now 3-1 as Spencer fires a fastball into the left-handed batter's box. Seeing some pitches is a good way to settle in, but also getting good aluminum to the ball is another way to settle in. As Berliner takes another pitch outside, 5-pitch walk, he's aboard with 1 out. Berliner, first base runner to reach in this inning. Lofdahl drew a 2-out walk in the 3rd. Here comes Eamon O'Gorman. He singled his previous at bat, 2-out single in the 2nd. Spencer out of the stretch. He's been there somewhat consistently. Traffic on the base paths for Elkhorn South. Just haven't pushed a run across yet. First pitch popped up our way. Bang. Mike Sauter dives out of the way there in the press box next to us. Oh, 0-1 to O'Gorman. He's a lefty. Sky blue bat in his hands. Gives a little waggle. Spencer taps that left foot, comes set. Here's the leg kick. Fastball down, 1-1. Turned into a great night for baseball. Sun has not been out in a while. Cloudy skies, wind whipping as we have a conference on the mound. It looks like a player is beginning to jog down the course of the bullpen, so this might be it for Wade Spencer.
This feels like a pitch count conversation as well.
I've got Wade Spencer having just thrown his 60th pitch. And if it is 60, he would have 10 more pitches, and he could come back on 2 days rest.
Gotcha.
He's already crossed the 50-pitch threshold.
This is also, here's what the reason is. This is probably potentially his last batter. They also called time to have the conference on the mound, not so somebody could come out of the bullpen, but so that somebody could jog from the first base dugout all the way to the bullpen.
402 feet out to dead center field here at Warner Park. Bullpens are beyond that. 315 down the right field line. It's 315 down left, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
So Spencer set, ready for pitch number 61. Brings it home. It's low. 2-1 now to Eamon O'Gorman. Berliner, the runner on first with 1 away. He drew a 5-pitch walk. This is a winner's bracket game in the bottom half of the Class A state tournament bracket. Spencer set. He checks Berliner at first with a short lead. Brings this one home. Low inside corner with the fastball, strike 2. That's a tough pitch to hit. If you can command that fastball on the low inside corner, not much that many high school hitters are going to be able to do with that one. O'Gorman didn't like the call, but it looked like a really good pitch from here. Spencer's back even in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's got 1 out in the frame. Gives a nod. He pitches it. It's a breaking ball down, and now that O'Gorman swung right over for the second out of the inning. Big pitch from Wade Spencer. 2 away now in the home half of the 4th. That brings up Johnny Cotton playing second base today.
Wade Spencer's retired. The last 4 outs that he's gotten have been from the strikeout.
Drives the pitch count up, but keeps the ball out of play. Another short lead for Berliner over there at first base. Spencer kicks and fires. That one roped to left field, drifting back. Not pretty footwork by the left fielder for Millard North, Caden Schaefer, but it gets the job done. He squeezes it, brings it home, and the 2-out walk doesn't hurt Millard North. Mustangs are coming up to bat with a 2-0 lead right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
2-0 Millard North over Elkhorn South. We're headed to the top of the fifth inning here at Werner Park. Brody Gindra returns for his fifth inning of work. Here on the call, Nick Sainer.
Thank you, Austin. Here we go, top of the fifth inning for Millard North. It's Spencer Phillips, Alex Burrish, and Chase Mockel due up for the Mustangs in the top half of the fifth inning. As Austin had mentioned, they're going to be facing Brody Gindra. As I'm keeping the radar on my laptop screen to my left, I'm looking at it as we speak. It looks like the first raindrops aren't supposed to fall here exactly where we're at. Omaha is supposed to get hit a little sooner, but as what we're understanding, Lincoln's already been seeing some rain here in Papillion, though. Doesn't look like until about 7:15, 7:30 p.m. we're going to really get through a good chunk of this game. Remember, 6:20 is what we just passed here, so we might even get the full extent game out here as it's quickly an 0-2 count, excuse me, to Spencer Phillips. The 0-2 pitch, outside corner, called strike three. Nice pitch by Brody Gindra. A great start to the top of the fifth inning where if you're Elkhorn South, you just have to, and more specifically Brody Gindra, you just have to keep on doing your thing out there. You've put up 2 consecutive scoreless innings. You have basically 1 earned run. They're both going to go down as earned, but the guy got from first to third base on an error, and so it's kind of unfortunate that was how your first earned run in the top of the first came to be. But ultimately, Brody Gindra has done a really good job of settling back in. It's now 1-1 to Alex Burrish, the starting center fielder for the Elkhorn South Storm. Or rather, for the Millard North Mustangs. Gindra swings, fields this ground ball. It was a little bit of a look what I found, but he looked down at his glove and saw that the pearl was in there, and so he fires it over to first for the 1-3 putout.
Good hands. That one almost popped out of his glove, kind of hit him in the heel, but he managed to hold on, kind of basket caught it, and it rolled down into the pocket. He was able to squeeze it.
So now that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Chase Mockel, who was able to get on base last time, but then was out at second base on a fielder's choice. He takes strike one across the heart of the plate, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, way outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Millard North leads it 2-0. The pitch swung softly, chopped left side, and it's going to bounce foul. And it will do it at 1 ball, 2 strikes here with 2 outs in the top of the fifth inning.
Gorup hesitated a little bit on that one as it was rolling foul. Go get that one, young man. Don't give it a chance to hit that second lip in foul territory and get back fair.
Just 2 hits on each side. Elkhorn South with 1 error. Millard North with 0. That 1 error obviously helped Millard North take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Then they followed that up after a leadoff double by Caden Schaefer. They sacrificed him over, and then it was just a simple ground ball that was allowing Caden Schaefer to score. That's the 2 runs that Millard North has scored today. Elkhorn South, Gindra really reared back and fired on that 2-2 offering, and it's up and away for a ball, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Gindra on the delivery, fouled back to the backstop, and we'll do it again at 3-2, payoff pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth inning. It's 2-0 Millard North. Righty-righty matchup between Brody Gindra and Mockel. He fights this one off. He'll foul it off right side as well and into the seats. Three balls, 2 strikes out of the windup. It's Gindra. The pitch, sky high pop up behind home plate. The catcher Gideon unable to get it as he chucked his helmet off to the side, which is the right thing to do, but then he didn't just stop. He never stopped moving to see where the ball was. He was always running in a circle and he started backpedaling, which is one of the worst things you can do, whether you're a catcher, an infielder, or an outfielder when trying to track down a fly ball. One of the worst things you can do is backpedal. He started to backpedal, and he fell down to the turf and dropped the baseball. So now Ginger is going to have to make another pitch here on 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning.
Seems like he was expecting the wind to keep blowing that one towards the screen, so his first steps were back and then toward the third base side.
Here's the payoff pitch by Gindra. Swung on, hit well through the right side, and it's into right field for a 2-out base knock by Chase Mockel. And a nice job there by Chase, keeping the inning alive and turning over the lineup to Jackson Smith, who walked back in the first, came around to score, and then flew out to the right fielder back in the third. But once again, we'll see what the baseball gods intend to happen here, as does that air on the fly ball to the catcher come back to haunt Elkhorn South? We'll find out. It allowed Millard North to keep the inning alive. Gindra will now have to work out of the stretch where we've seen him. He's not the most comfortable. Gindra comes set, fires home, ball 1 low and out of the zone.
Gindra started this inning off with probably his most dominant at bat. The 4-pitch strikeout or 3-pitch strikeout? 3-pitch strikeout. And since then, it's been a little choppy.
Here's the 0-1-0. Up and away, ball 2.
I thought after that strikeout, Nick, he was dialed in, that he'd found something. So a good job of Millard North by, even though they only have now the 2-out base runner, they've really grinded out at bats and not made it easy.
2 balls, no strikes, the pitch. It's off the heel, or rather foot of the batter. I thought it went off the catcher and skied high. It didn't look as far inside as it obviously was from my vantage point, but it's a hit by pitch. And now, once again, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Austin, this is what baseball does. It makes you pay for the errors, the free passes, and now there's a guy on second. The only reason he's on second is because the catcher missed a pop-up. And the only reason the guy's on first is because the pitcher allowed him to be on first via a hit by pitch. So now can Ripken Fleck make him pay? It's going to take a base knock into the outfield to do so and try to extend this lead from where it's currently at 2-0. The first pitch of the at-bat from Gindra on the way. It's a check swing. Oh, they're going to say he went around. Tough call for Ripken Fleck, in my opinion.
I agree. It's impossible to judge intent. Did he mean to go? Did he not mean to go? If you look at just the physics of the breaking the plane of home plate, I would agree. I thought he stopped himself before the bat head crossed that angle.
No balls, 1 strike here to Ripken Fleck. Runner at second, runner at first for Millard North as well. Gindra pauses, and we have a time called at the plate by Ripken.
Either way, good on Brody Gindra for inducing that check swing. He started him off with a breaking ball, pitching backwards, which tells you that Ripken Fleck was sitting fastball ready to jump on it.
Here's the 0-1, outside corner. It looked like a changeup, not so much of a slider there, but it looked like a changeup, little speed change with no balls, 2 strikes now coming up with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Gindra retired the first 2 Millard North hitters in order here in the 5th inning. Here he's trying to get one more pitch. It's away. It goes back to the backstop away from the catcher, and both runners are going to move up 90 more feet as now runners in scoring position will be at third base. It'll be Chase Mockel. At second base, it's Jackson Smith. And here we go.
Hasn't been a very clean defensive game from catcher Jack Gideon, Nick. He threw that one away in the first inning, dropped the pop-up, now that pass ball. And for a guy that comes into the game with a batting average less than 100, that glove's got to be, I'd say, rock solid, but really leather soft.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Gindra has got to make one more pitch. Comes set, takes a breath, delivers. This one hit well, out left side, and the line drive is caught by the shortstop to make the play and end the inning. So a sigh of relief if you are in that Elkhorn South third base dugout, as You gave Millard North every try and attempt and chance there to add on to their 2-run lead, but you keep it exactly where it is. It's 2-0 as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up for the Storm in the home half. It is 8-9-1. Peters, Cooper, and Gindra here in the couple of seconds. We'll be back in 30 of them here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Warner Park, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sanders and Austin Norman out here, back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. It's Harrison Arns. Appreciate him. Jake Bachhoven, Jackson Kleinschmidt pushing all the buttons throughout the course of the day today here while we take care of business up in Papillion. It's 2-0, your score between Millard North and Elkhorn South. We're going to have a I believe a pinch hitter.
Yep.
Yes, a pinch hitter.
Number 9.
Instead of Caleb Peters, we're going to have number 9. It's going to be Jaden Ish. Ish, the junior, hitting just 188, only has 6 hits coming into the state tournament. The first pitch, he swings on it and fouls it off his leg. It'll be 0-1.
We've run into a couple issues here at the state tournament, Nick, where these home plate umpires don't immediately signal if there's a foul ball off the batter. It's gotten 2 separate teams in trouble where players have thought they fouled one off their leg. They hop around, but the home plate umpire doesn't make the call. It was a delayed, couple bounces before our home plate ump made that call. That's got to be immediate.
No balls, 1 strike. The pitch breaker works itself back into the inner part of the zone. It's now 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1.
If we're monitoring pitch count as well, that's pitch number 67, I believe, for Wade Spencer. He throws 70 for the 3 days of rest.
The 1-2 pitch from Spencer. Swung on and missed. Ish goes down on strikes. He goes down swinging for out number 1. Now it looks like we're also going to have Cam Cooper now up to the plate. Cooper in his first at-bat in the 3rd inning struck out swinging. First pitch to Cam Cooper. Hits that outside corner. Strike 1. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here is Spencer delivers. Outside corner again, 0-2. That hasn't even come off the shoulder for Cam Cooper here in this at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Millard North. On top of Elkhorn South. Elkhorn South in at the plate. Cam Cooper. Here's the pitch on 0-2. Swung and fought off right side, but foul. And we'll do it again at 0-2. Millard North, 2 runs on 3 hits, while Elkhorn South, no runs on 2 hits. They've also committed an error. Here, trying to keep the inning afloat. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. It's Cam Cooper. This one swung on and missed. That's out number 2. And now the lineup will turn over to Brody Gindra. Gindra on the day, he singled back in the 3rd on a fastball that was on the inner part of the plate. He muscled it into the left center gap. He flew out to the left fielder, though, to start the day. He steps into that right-handed batter's box. Brody Gindra facing the right-handed pitcher of Wade Spencer. The first pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Nice little 2-seam action on the what we would imagine be the circle change as it kind of dove back towards that back foot of Gindra. Good pronation on that ball by Wade Spencer out of the hand. The 0-1 offering to Gindra. This one swung on, skied high, pop up to shortstop. It'll stay in the infield. The shortstop races under it, camps under it, and he makes the catch on a nice grab by Chase Mockel. We head to the top of the 6th inning after Elkhorn South goes 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. And we've played 5 complete here at Warner Park. It's 2-0. Millard North out in front, and they're coming up to bat here in just a few minutes on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Discovering your life's passion is easier with options, and that's what Doane offers students. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes you different. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Standard, Austin Norman back with you from Warner Park. It's 2-0 Millard North, and we are getting ready for the 6th inning of work. Here's Austin Norman.
Thank you, Nick. Brody Gindra back on the hill for the 6th. I've got Brody Gindra at 76 pitches through 6 innings. His Elkhorn South Storm trail 2-0. Only have 2 hits. Now, Gindra's only allowed 3 in those 2 runs. He's got to face for the 3rd time the heart of this Mustang order. Marcus Hankins, Tanner Evans, and Caden Schaefer. Only 1 hit allowed to that trio today. 3 strikeouts for Gindra. The 1 hit was allowed when it was a double by Schaefer. He would come around to score the 2nd run of the game. Hankins a righty, as is Gindra. Hankins is in the box. Gindra is on the mound. Belt adjusted. We're ready to go here in the top of the 6th. Breaking ball inside corner for strike 1. Hankins, as I mentioned, right-handed batter. Wearing number 16, 374 hitter. He caught the first game. He's DHing today. That breaking ball swept too far outside. 1-1. Gindra took his eye off it. Ticked off his glove. Caleb Peters back in the game at shortstop. Helped retrieve that one. Gindra played shortstop on Friday. Brings home a fastball. Belly button high. Taken for a strike 1 and 2. Hankins thought that one was up a little further. So Gindra ahead in the count 1-2. He kicks and delivers. Called 3rd strike on the outside corner. Hankins shakes his head. He trudges slowly back to the dugout. 1 away. Top of the 6th. Showing command of multiple pitches there, Brody Gindra. Struck out Hankins for the 2nd time today. Here's Tanner Evans. Strikeout and a line out to left. Neon bat, full cage face mask. Gindra's first pitch swung on. Hit to Berliner in left field. Again, Berliner's first steps are in. He retreats a couple steps but settles underneath it. 1 pitch for the 2nd out of the inning. That does bring up Caden Schaefer. Schaefer doubled leading off the 2nd inning. He was moved to 3rd on a bunt by Carson Burke and scored on a ground out by Spencer Phillips. Schaefer, the righty, wide stance. Takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Man, when Brody Gindra's locked in and in a rhythm, he's placing it right where he wants it. He kicks and fires the 0-1. Breaking ball just off the inside part of the plate to the righty Schaefer, 1-1.
Yeah, there's guys that just look different when they take the mound.
Schaefer rips that one back up the middle. There's his 2nd hit of the day. That is a solid single to center field. He'll be aboard with 2 away.
Yeah, good swing there by Caden Schaefer. Really nice piece of hitting there. Took it right back where it came from. Was a tad early on the fastball, but was able to still drive it up the center of the field and keep this inning alive with a 2-out single.
So here's Carson Burke. 0 for 1 officially with the sacrifice bunt and a fly out to center. Burke's doing the catching today. He raises that bat off the shoulders. Gindra brings it home. First pitch is over the heart of the plate for a strike. Burke, a 260 batter. He's driven in 11 runs. Also closes part-time for Millard North. Got 2 saves on the year. He watches that one for a ball, and for the second time, Brody Gindra fails to corral the return throw from Jack Gideon. He's out of the stretch with Schaefer at first base. Gindra kicks, delivers to Burke. Swung on, that one's in the air. Going to be a tough play, going to take communication. The shortstop, Peters, is there just a few steps into the outfield grass. He squeezes it, and Elkhorn South hangs a 0 in the top of the 6th. The Storm come to bat in the home half of the 6th frame, still in search of their first run of the game. We'll see if they can scratch it across when we return to the Class A state tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman and Nick Sainert with you here at Warner Park. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Wade Spencer is back out on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He's in the mid to low 70s for pitch count. With today being Monday, I would guess that the leash on Wade Spencer will end up being that 90-pitch mark. With 3 days of rest, that would be tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if Millard North were to qualify for the state championship game, Wade Spencer would be eligible to return for that. But they got to make it through this game, and they have to win at least once more to make it there. Wade Spencer has been solid tonight. No runs allowed so far, only 2 hits. Brody Gindra lined a single for one of them, and Eamon O'Gorman did the same. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th for Elkhorn South. They are led off by center fielder Tyler Lofdahl. He's a lefty. Lofdahl's grounded to first and drawn a walk. He's in the box ready to go. Here is Spencer on the mound. Starts with that glove at his chin. He drops it to his belt through his windup. Here's the pitch. Breaker in the dirt, 1-0. Spencer quickly ready to work again. Here comes his 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Fastball swung on down the first baseline, off the heel of the glove. It's a fair ball that bounces into foul territory. And for the second time today, Tyler Lofdahl reaches base. I think that was a relatively routine play that just went off the heel of the glove of Millard North's first baseman, Spencer Phillips. No official scoring yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was Spencer Phillips was trying to get around that ball so he could take a direct angle and not field it off the side of his body. It goes as an error, but I think he was trying so that hopefully he could just take a direct angle up that foul line or down that foul line to the first base bag, but couldn't get around it enough.
Did not secure the ball, went off his heel. Here's Musil. He takes a fastball low for ball 1. Musil today has struck out twice. Last at bat saw him not learn his lesson. He swung over 3 different breaking balls. Probably the same breaking ball 3 different times, I should say. Now he calls time. It'll be Carson Burke jogging out to the mound to talk to Wade Spencer. Spencer now in the upper 70s for pitch count. Lofdahl's on first after the error. Elkhorn South then shut out here through 5 innings. They scored 10 in their win over Kearney on Friday. Brody Gindra was the story in that one. He popped out to end last inning. It's 2, 3, and 4 here for the Storm, wearing their home grays. Lofdahl's away from first. Spencer set in the stretch. He peers down, ready to fire. Musil, another breaking ball, still has not learned that lesson. Nick, as a hitter, you pick up that spin, it starts at your knees. It's not going to rise. It's only going to drop.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Owen Musil, he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and a big chunk of the pitches that he's been seeing have been those spinners.
We'll see if Spencer doubles down on it here. Musil, 30 RBIs on the year for Elkhorn South. He's got Lofdahl at first ahead of him. There's another pitch taken for a strike by Musil. It's 1-2. He is just not seeing it well out of the hand right now at all. His team needs him. Down 1-2 in the count. 6 outs left to work with as the Storm trail by 2. Wade Spencer takes a look over at first. He comes set at the belt. He'll kick and fire. Swung on and missed. Owen Musil now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts on the day. He's headed back to the bench as the first out of the inning.
Yeah, the frustrating day continues for Owen Musil. Normally one of the best hitters in this Elkhorn South lineup. Unfortunately, now 0 for 3 with 3 Ks.
So 1 away here in the 6th. Here's Marcus Gorup, the freshman cleanup hitter, has flown to right and gone down looking. Spencer into the 80s in his pitch count. He'll fire a breaking ball for strike 1.
Both guys on the mound have real good feel for that breaking ball stuff right now. They've been able to control it, first pitch breakers. And especially at this level, you're going to see that. But to control it for the consistent amount of innings that they are, it's really impressive.
Really good pickoff over to first base by Spencer. Lofdahl got caught leaning. That was bang, bang.
A lot of times, too, first basemen forget they can tag any part of the body. Sometimes it's quicker to tag the thigh as that runner is going on by than worried about having to tag the hand or arm that's touching that first base bag.
Aggressive lead from Lofdahl again. Spencer brings it home. Gorup fouls it straight back to the screen. Now 0-2. You always think about, as a first baseman, trying to get that hand to the front of the base before the hand reaches there. But to your point, if the lead's aggressive enough, you just got to hit him. So here's Spencer way up in the count, 0-2 on Marcus Gorup. Spencer's ready to fire home. There goes Lofdahl. That one gets to the backstop. Lofdahl had second base ripped off easily anyways. It's the 4th or 5th ball to the backstop we've seen. Carson Burke hasn't exactly been a brick wall. But now the first run of the day is at second base, potentially, for Elkhorn South. Gorup 1 step closer in the count, 1-2. He'll take time, step out of the batter's box, give himself a moment to compose himself. Taps the helmet, spins the bat. He's in the batter's box. Spencer takes a look back at second base. Now second baseman creeps away from the bag. Lofdahl extends that lead. Nasty breaking ball, and Gorup is down on strikes. He was way ahead of that slider from Wade Spencer, and now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Elkhorn South just can't get a thing going this inning. I mean, this game especially, but this entire inning. No runs on 2 hits. They've committed an error. They haven't been walked a whole lot of times. They haven't been disciplined at the plate. They've kind of been flailing all over the place. Just a really, really unfortunate day at the plate for the Elkhorn South Storm offense.
Have not been able to get a beat on that breaking ball. Here's Brooks Berliner. Left fielder has struck out looking and drawn a walk.
I have Wade Spencer at 11 strikeouts. Double check my math on that. Through 5 2/3, I have him at 11 strikeouts.
That makes 2 of us. And it looks like that could be the end of the day, and it will be for Wade Spencer. 5 2/3 dominant inning from number 11 for Millard North. The 7th seeded Mustangs are 4 outs away from continuing their run in the state tournament. We will have a call to the bullpen. Let's take a 60-second break. Be back, tell you about the new pitcher, reset the situation next on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New pitcher for Millard North will be number 19, Colin Driffel. Driffel's a junior. 2-1 record on the year, 2 saves, an ERA of 1.17. He did appear in the Mustangs' win over Papillion La Vista South. After Noah Gartner went 6 innings with 10 strikeouts, Colin Driffel came in. He walked a batter. We inherited a single and a hit by pitch. He came in, got a strikeout, 2 strikeouts, walked the bases loaded, and then got the last batter looking to end the game. I'm Austin Norman, Nick Sainert with me, Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Been a pitching and defense dominated day here at Warner Park. Now that we expected a lot of fireworks necessarily, but in a big park like this, plenty of room for base hits to fall into. The biggest blast of the day was a 2-run home run to left by Griffin Minderman. That extended a 1-0 lead to 3-0 for Papio South. So here's Colin Driffel towing the rubber against Brooks Berliner. Driffel, the junior, Berliner, the senior. Righty-righty matchup. Elkhorn South's got a runner on second, but 2 away. Only 4 outs left to work with for the Storm. Here's Driffel's first pitch. Fastball wide, 1-0. It's a gray day here at Werner. Wind is blown in from right center field all day long. Driffel taps his toes a couple times, couple quick checks to second base. He's set at the belt. Breaking ball, belly button high, taken for a ball, 2-0. The 1.17 ERA for Elkhorn South, Nick. The objective is make him work. Driffel holds that ball out in front of him. Glove behind his back. Now he brings it in. He's set at the belt. Lofdahl's at second. Good runner. That breaking ball tails away from Berliner. He's way up in the count, 3-0.
I'm surprised that a lot of these guys will have good feel for 2 pitches. I'm surprised on that 2-0 approach, where you're at in the lineup. I'm surprised that we see him go with the breaking ball on 2-0 there. Try to serve not something up, but try to locate a fastball, establish that pitch first and foremost.
Driffel's 3-0. Up, chin high, ball 4. 2 on, 2 out for Elkhorn South. There's that fine line, Nick, between being predictable, letting guys sit on a fastball, and being cute. They've worked on the breaking ball. It's worked for Millard North pretty much all day. But fresh into the game, go with the pitch you have the better feel for. Here's Eamon O'Gorman. He's a lefty for Elkhorn South, striding to the plate, batting in the 6th spot today. He's 1 for 2. He's singled and struck out. So it's Lofdahl at second and Berliner at first. Couple outfielders on the base paths for Elkhorn South. Driffel's ready to bring it home. First pitch taking is O'Gorman. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. A 4-pitch walk to Brooks Berliner. Now first pitch strike to Eamon O'Gorman for Colin Driffel.
Yeah, and if you're Driffel, just got to settle in here. Settle in. Fire some competitive pitches in the zone, in or around the zone. See if you can get maybe Eamon O'Gorman fishing. But you got to get ahead of the count, which is what he did here.
O'Gorman's batting average this year, 152. Here's Driffel's 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. It was blocked by the catcher. That's Carson Burke, 1-1. Good of Burke to get all the way down to a knee and protect the 5-hole. Tying run could have moved up to scoring position. Driffel rock set. He's steady, brings it home. This one chopped. Driffle's got to wait for it to come down. O'Gorman hustling down the line, but Driffle throws him out by a step. 2 base runners, but no runs for Elkhorn South. We head to the 7th. Millard North looking for some insurance runs. The Mustangs lead it 2-0. We'll be back with the 7th inning of the Class A state baseball tournament right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter Jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
2-0 Millard South as we enter the 7th inning. New pitcher for Elkhorn South will be number 20, Mason Eck. Eck is a senior, 1-0 on the year with 1 save, an ERA of 5.55. That closes the book then on Brody Gindra. He goes 6 innings. Here to tell you more about Millard North and Elkhorn South, Nick Sainer.
Thank you, Austin. Top of the 7th inning, the last inning of what we would categorize as regulation, I suppose. Millard North leads it 2-0 over the Elkhorn South Storm. Elkhorn South, they, as Austin mentioned, turned to Mason Eck. Need a clean one out of the young man. Mason Eck, the right-handed hurler, will face in the Millard North lineup to start here in the top of the 7th inning. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 hitters. So really, especially do not walk some guys and just figure out ways to be competitive in the zone, in and around the zone. I know I just mentioned that regarding Colin Driffle a moment ago, but figure out a way to be competitive. Don't try to make this inning into more than it is or needs to be. Figure out a way to get it to the bottom half of this inning. Still a 2-0 margin.
I've got the final line on Gindra best as I have here, Nick. 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, and 1 hit batter.
There you have it.
He's at shortstop now as well.
Yeah. He if they get there, he would be due up 4th in the bottom of the 7th. Brody Gindra, that is. But Elkhorn South will have 7, 8, and 9 up first. So both sides in the same exact spot in their lineup to start the 7th inning of play. Brief conversation on the mound between the battery. And here we go as Mason Eck is going to deal with Spencer Phillips. Phillips on the day, he hit one of the RBI back in the 2nd inning down to 3rd base and then struck out looking back in the 5th. First pitch for Mason Eck. Hits it. It's a hit by pitch. And that'll put Spencer Phillips on base. So a leadoff base runner that now Mason Eck has to deal with. And so with that, if you are Millard North and Bob Levac or one of the coaches over there, you're sitting here saying, okay, Alex Burrish, our 8-hole hitter, he's 0 for 2 today. He flew out to the left fielder. He grounded out to the pitcher. Maybe we go ahead and sacrifice this for him simply so that way he can get a guy in scoring position for our 9, 1, and 2 hitters. I know we have a pitch runner on first base for Spencer Phillips as well.
Missed him coming out of the dugout. I was not doing my job as your color guy. My apologies.
Well, that's okay. The numbers, unfortunately, in the reflection of the lights, tougher to see. They show bunt. It's a great bunt down the first base side. The only play is going to be to first, and Alex Burrish does his job, sacrifices the pinch runner over to second base. And so with that, he is now at second on the sack. 1-3 on the putout. Good job there by Mason Eck of staying composed through that play. But now it'll be Chase Mockel. Mockel singled the last time he was up to the plate back in the 5th inning. He eventually got over to third base, but that's where he had to be held captive until the end of the inning, where he advanced to third on a wild pitch. So we're ready to go here with 1 out in the top of the 7th. It's 2-0 Millard North in our final game of the day. Out of the stretch, it's Mason Eck, who's in his first inning of relief. He throws a first pitch. This one's going to be lined to the shortstop. The quick throw to third. Gindra throws it in towards the Elkhorn South dugout. And grabbing an extra 90 feet is the base runner from third as he will score. And another error, this time from Brody Gindra from shortstop. He tried to make a tough play, threw it from behind the runner who was going from second to third. It was a one-hopping ground ball. He fielded it cleanly, threw it to third base, trying to get the lead runner at third, but instead it goes well past the third baseman towards the Elkhorn South dugout, and they score another run. Great job backside base running by Mockel as well as he advanced to second, so they just swap places and add a run.
I don't hate the idea from Gindra. With an arm like his, you can talk me into that being the right play. Problem is, it was the wrong throw. He threw that to the inside part of the base. If he throws it to the outside part, the left hand of Marcus Gorup, that's out of the baseline, it's out of the way of the runner. Gorup has a chance to catch it and apply the tag.
So now it's the top of the order. Jackson Smith, the 1-0 pitch on the way, in there for a strike, 1-1. Mason Eck needs to settle down now and figure out a way to get another ground ball, because that's the type of contact you want here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch swung on, fouled off right side, and we'll do it at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brody Gindra with a crucial error in his first inning at shortstop. As Austin said, just an inaccurate throw, wrong placement. It was probably tougher for Gorup at third to be able to catch that ball as well, as this one is a ball low and in, 2-2. They tried a very slow back pick at second base back in plenty of time was Chase Mockel.
I don't like that, Nick. If the runner reads it and takes off for third base, you give it up. There's just so much risk and so little reward. It takes so much to go right to get that play. So much more can go wrong.
I will also say that on the previous play, I think the reason that happened, that they did that in the first place, was Brody Gindra's working the runner at second, Chase Mockel. And the pitcher on the play, Mason Eck, we talked about a lot of this is timing and just reading, reacting, seeing what your shortstop's doing. He missed what Gindra wanted to be a pickoff play. As this one sliced through the left side, and that's another base knock. Rounding third, scoring easily is Mockel. They will hold up the runner at first base with a throw to second, and Millard North doubles their lead. It's 4-0 on an RBI single off the bat of Jackson Smith.
Really good piece of hitting. Slapped down the left field line there by Jackson Smith. That's his first hit today, even though he's been on base 2 times. Millard North, in the blink of an eye, has doubled its lead here in the 7th inning.
Great piece of hitting by Jackson Smith. And now Ripken Fleck, a man who is 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out twice, or rather he's grounded out once. He was the reason that Jackson Smith was able to score in that first inning. He reached on a fielder's choice and then lined out to the shortstop to end the 5th inning. First pitch of the at-bat from Mason Eck. As this one's hit out right side, the right fielder has it. An aggressive secondary lead on the play, as now an errant throw, getting it back in after catching the fly ball from the right fielder. But most importantly, they were able to catch that ball on the fly for out number 2. And now Elkhorn South is 1 out away from getting out of this top of the 7th inning.
Aggressive secondary lead is right. I thought Smith thought that was down for a while. He must have had it measured all the way on that ball that took the right fielder in and towards first base, towards the line. That was risky, but I guess it worked out.
4-0 is your score, as we have a quick check on the runner at first base. Back in plenty of time was the runner, Jackson Smith. Up to bat, it's Marcus Hankins, the designated hitter, the righty-righty matchup as Mason Eck delivers home. It's up and away, ball 1. It looked like the home plate umpire flinched for a moment, wanted to call it a strike, but decided it was a little too far out of the zone to give him the benefit of the doubt. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, and Elkhorn South will be trailing by at least 4 when they go to bat in the 7th, as this one on 1-0 is fouled off and to the right behind us. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Millard North up 4-0. They have 4 runs on 5 hits. Masonette comes set at the belt, lifts the leg and fires. This one swung on and missed. Nice change up there low in the zone, and it's 1-2. So once again, Elkhorn South will have 7, 8, and 9 due up in the home half of the 7th. The 1-2 offering from Masonette on the way, swung on and missed, and that will do it for the visiting half of the 7th. As the damage is done, however, Millard North adds 2 more runs. They leave 1 man on base, and they take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We have arrived to Elkhorn South's final chance here as they trail 4-0 in this one. Millard North did a good job of adding some insurance there in the top half of the 7th inning. It appears that we're going to get out of our Monday with no storms here at Warner Park. Knock on some wood that's in front of me here. And it's been a pretty good, quick day of baseball through 4 games. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us wherever you may be. As Nick Sainert, Austin Norman with you, Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Make sure you tune in and stay tuned into The Ticket after this for Ticket weeknights, regularly scheduled programming following the conclusion of our games. Harrison Arns, man in the ship, back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. It's 4-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Due up in the home half of the 7th, it's going to be 7, 8, and 9. Johnny Cotton will lead things off. He struck out back in the 2nd. He flew out to the left fielder back in the 4th, and now he steps into the left-handed batter's box to face off against Colin Driffel. So we are ready to go here in the home half of the 7th inning. The first pitch of this half frame is in there for a strike. 0-1. We'll have elimination games tomorrow here at Warner Park, as the 0-1 pitch by Colin Driffel is on its way inside, ball 1. The wind is really starting to howl here at Warner Park. It's actually changed directions a little bit. It's blowing more towards outfield rather than just the third base foul line seats. Swung on, the bat breaks. That's the 2nd time we've seen that at the tournament. It's fielded by the third baseman and thrown over to first in time. That is the 2nd time this state tournament, while we've been on the call, that we've seen an aluminum bat snap in half. And we just saw it happen here at Warner Park. You heard it sound kind of bizarre when that ball hit the bat, but it snapped in half. And so now, Johnny Cotton, your parents going to have to buy you a new bat before tomorrow. It's 5-3 on the putout for out number 1.
Hopefully he's a good teammate if he doesn't have a chance to run to a local sporting goods establishment. Here's Garrett Reitz, by the way, pinch hitting for Caleb Peters. We saw him pinch hit against Kearney as well, Nick.
Garrett Reitz hitting just a measly 114 on the season, 4 hits and 35 at-bats. We saw Jaden Ish pinch hit in this spot last inning, or last time up back in the 5th. Now it's Garrett Reitz. The righty-righty matchup. Here pinch hitting in the 8-hole spot. Coming set from the stretch here is Colin Driffel. Driffel fires home, and it's blown away for a ball 1-0. I've been notified by our mutual friend and colleague Terrell Farley, it's raining real hard in Lincoln, he says. So hopefully if you're listening to us while you're in the car, T. Farley and everybody else, hopefully you guys are driving safely to wherever you're headed next. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Garrett Reitz here at Warner Park. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. Driffel comes set at the belt, lifts the leg and fires home. It's well outside, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom half of the 7th inning. Elkhorn South down to their final 2 outs unless a miracle can happen that can keep them in the winner's bracket. Double elimination tournament, so they'll play tomorrow. As this one hit right side, fairly shallow, and it's going to push into foul territory, and Garrett Reitz flies out to the first baseman for out number 2, and that brings up number 1, Cam Cooper. Cam, he is 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Cam struck out back in the 3rd and in the 5th. Brody Gindra is standing in the on-deck circle. So is the rest of the top of the Elkhorn South order. No balls, no strikes. Not sure why we're clapping. 2 outs here to Cam Cooper. First pitch of the at-bat is in there for a strike. 0-1.
It's because they're always 1 pitch away.
I
Cam
suppose
Cooper's
so.
going after the first one, so just
I suppose so.
play it safe.
Austin, doesn't it feel, though, like at any moment it's just a downpour could happen?
Oh, it does.
The
Absolutely.
wind, I mean, it's been feeling like that kind of all day. 0-1, the count. This one swung on and missed a hearty cut. 0-2.
Are you okay with the clapping now?
I am. I think we're good. I'm even going to stand up for this one. No, I'm kidding. 0-2 is your count.
Homer.
2 outs. No, trust me. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cam Cooper, can he keep it alive for Elkhorn South, or can Colin Driffel slam the door? The pitch on 0-2. Fouled off right side, and we'll do it again. But the wind's starting to severely pick up now out here at Warner Park. You can hear it in our mic behind us, and you can kind of just tell that a storm is a-brewing, but not the Elkhorn South storm. They're down to their final strike. 0-2 your score, or your count rather, 2 outs. The pitch on 0-2, way outside, low and away. 1-2. Cam Cooper, your right fielder today. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Millard North student section on their feet behind the first base dugout. Here's the pitch from Driffel on its way upstairs. Ball 2, it's even.
Driffel's overthrown a little bit, trying to put a little extra gas on the breaker and then on the fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4-0 is your score. Millard North 1 strike away from advancing to Wednesday's matchups. Here's the pitch from Driffel on its way. Swung on and almost caught by the catcher behind the plate. I think it was in his glove for a split second, but then it popped out, and it's a foul ball. The catcher, Carson Burke, just unable to hold on to that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And here's the pitch from Driffel. Just outside. Up and away. And that makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th. It's 4-0. Millard North 1 strike away. Brody Gindra in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch from Driffel. Outside, ball 4. What an at-bat from Cam Cooper, the 9-hole hitter in the Elkhorn South lineup.
Regardless of how that at-bat went, that was a good at-bat. He fouled off a couple pitches, had some tough takes, and most importantly, Nick, he turned the lineup over. He got it to a bunch of guys who have been solid all year. Obviously, Brody Gindra, we know what he did last game against Kearney. Lofdahl's been on base twice. And then, if the rally keeps going, you get it to Owen Musil, the leading RBI guy on this Elkhorn South side.
So here we go. Brody Gindra, the future Husker, steps into the right-handed batter's box. He watches the first pitch of the at-bat go to the backstop, rounding second, but retreating back to the second base bag is Cam Cooper. And if you are calling Driftle, you have to remember, despite it being on a big stage, neither Cam Cooper or really Brody Gindra, his run matters.
Neither does Lofdahl's.
Neither does Lofdahl's in the on-deck circle. And so even you just have to throw a strike to Brody Gindra, make him beat you. Don't worry about Cam Cooper on second base. Be competitive in the zone and see if you can get your team out of here.
I'd also be curious to see if Millard North decides to maybe shift its defense into maybe no doubles. Potentially left fielder's playing about where he is. Center fielder might have taken a step back, and the right fielder has been consistent with his placement all day. I'm of two minds of that. On the one hand, it's probably the smart strategic move, right? Don't let him get rolling. We know Brody Gindra has extra base style of pop. But also to the extent that of what you were saying is true, these runs don't necessarily matter. Do you just play it straight up, play the field, play the conditions, and then if Brody Gindra happens to get one over your head, tip your cap to the D1 commit?
1 ball, no strikes here to Brody Gindra. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Elkhorn South down to their final out. Down 4-0. Gindra pops this one right side. The first baseman races over, hauls it in, and Millard North advances with a 4-0 lead and win against the Elkhorn South Storm here tonight at Warner Park. Austin Norman, we'll go ahead and keep it right here while we have a second so we can get it back to our regularly scheduled Ticket Weeknights programming. But when you look at Millard North, their win 4-0, they started the game. Essentially, the first run of the game was thanks to an error. The second run of the game could have been cut down at home plate, but I think there was a fumble on the transfer, some indecisiveness as well from the third baseman, so he just threw it across the diamond for 1. Those runs, okay, fine. You should probably be able to avenge those. However, the 2 that they put up in the top of the 7th inning were really important and showed a lot of excitement for maybe what Millard North can do in this tournament.
Absolutely. Millard North still has only lost once in the month of May. They come in as the 7th seed, but certainly a dangerous one with that. You saw them maintain that 1-0 advantage in the first, got it to 2 in the second. Then they put the game on cruise control and really on that right shoulder of Wade Spencer. 5 2/3 innings for him, 11 strikeouts against just 2 walks and 2 hits. He did a good job of keeping Elkhorn South off the base paths. And then the mark of a good team and borderline great team potentially, Nick, is the ability to apply that pressure in late innings, extend a lead when you have the opportunity to. How did that top of the 7th inning get started for Millard North? It was with fundamental baseball, a hit by pitch, a sacrifice bunt, and then Mockle put the ball in play. He tested Brody Gindra. Whether it was intentional or not, it still happened. Gindra tried to cut down the lead runner at third, ended up throwing it away. The run trots home. And then right after that, Jackson Smith came through with his first hit of the day to score Mockle, and there's your 4-0 advantage.
It was a really good day of baseball, a quick-moving day of baseball, as well as it's a mad dash for the grounds crew here at Warner to get the tarp on the field. They got to rake it, and then they got to tarp this field here at Warner Park, so it's ready to play some baseball tomorrow, hopefully. Obviously, there's rain in the forecast. We'll see what happens the rest of the week, but we know we got through Monday, which was a big, big question entering today with no rain here at Warner Park. I understand in a lot of places of the state and in our listening area, it is pouring rain, so appreciate you guys hanging with us the entire day, and make sure you get safely to your next destination, wherever that may be. Once again, your final score, Millard North 4-0 over the Elkhorn South Storm here at Warner Park. Make sure you join myself and Austin Norman all day tomorrow. We'll get things started once again at 10 a.m. Thanks in part to Harrison Orange, Jake Bachhoven, and Jackson Kleinschmidt for their work on the numbers today. We appreciate them back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. One final time, your score 4-0 Millard North. Can't thank our sponsors enough for their support of high school baseball on the Ticket. Doane University, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, Game Day Men's Health, Raising Cane's, Max Tan, and Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman saying so long from Warner Park and the 2025 Class A State Baseball Tournament. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system